Hey guys, today we're at the Tahune Air Walk. It also has a few other activities here where you can go for a walk over a suspension bridge through the big Huon pines, and also there's a hang glider that you can hop on. It's all done on a wire and you're all strapped in, but it goes, I think, across the river. We're going to take you along and show you what's out there. It's a beautiful day. It's down in the south of Tasmania, down past the Huon Valley and Gervaston, and the prices at the moment, if you come over here, obviously just for the Tahune adventure on the air walk, is adults $32, children $16, concession $28.80, or family $80. Up to 5 years is free. Then they have the Eagle hang glider that I was talking about, $22, $20 and $20. They also have a Twin Rivers adventure where you can go on some kayaks, blow up rafts down the river. And they do a combined thing where you can do the whole entire lot, which I can't find the price here, but Rod's seen it online.
Today's weather is 30 degrees, partly cloudy.
There's a car park here for big vans and for big vehicles. And there's also a little bit of camping just outside, which Roz said was for $10 a night.
That was in the overflow car park just over there.
Also, Gervaston, which we just come through to get here, which is about probably 28 kilometres from here, there's like a big showground with a lot of caravans and that in it. So I'm not sure all the prices there, but there is another camping spot there if you want to do day trips.
So guys, we're going down to the Eagle hand gliding.
Of a spinning wheel where all I feel is the ice getting thinner.
Right, ready, set, go!
Yo!
Thank you very much.
Not a problem at all.
Step by step, day by day, I'm fighting a winner. Pushed around, I'm nowhere bound, no solid ground. How can I get it back? How can I be strong in all I do?
So up there's where we're going. Apparently there's 100 stairs. That was from a bushfire back in 2019. The fires that come through lasted a few weeks and burnt out 63,769 hectares. The bushwalk survived but was severely damaged, the air walk. So you see the trees are all scarred with the black markings on them.
I wanna be a saint, but I ain't. I'm far from. I wanna be brave, I wanna stand tall, but I feel like I'm losing this war. How can I stand my ground when I'm back down each time? Time is a struggle, little by little, day by day, I'm trying to juggle. Losing track, no turning back, I'm running through fire. Step by step, day by day, burning the wire. Pushed around, nowhere bound, no solid ground. How can I get it back? How can I be strong when all I do comes out wrong? I wanna be a saint, but I ain't. I'm far from.
Hey, hey.
Oh wow, guys, this is the part of the airwalk where it's the actual suspension, and you can feel it moving as you walk along here. It's pretty cool.
Get your phone ready, I'll drop my ducks again. Stand here, see the 4 legs, so to speak, on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just fallen over. Pretty cool. A big tree. Probably one of these big ones. It's just collapsed.
I wanna stand tall, but I feel like I'm losing this war. How can I stand my ground when I'm back down each time? As the days go by, I keep wondering why.
As you can see, the track is fairly easy going. It's nice and cool. Probably picked a really good day to be down here. Overcast. Not too hot. Here's the first suspension bridge. Swinging bridges.
Struggle never ends. In this endless fight, I'm never right. I can never win, never win.
Second bridge. Going back to where we entered. To where we're going. And back down the river. Protector of the pines and collector of revenues. So this bloke used to collect all the revenue for people that wanted to do logging in the forest. He was also a policeman. But before that he was a convict from Ireland for stealing a gun. Francis McPartlin. So this is where he used to live. Apparently this is what's left of his house.
Cool.
As you can see on there, a bit of a log cabin. Here's a young fellow carved out of wood. So he was a protector of the pines and collector of revenues. As I said, McPartland came to Tasmania from Ireland as a convict in 1846, having been charged with stealing a gun. He served his sentence, then worked as a postman before being appointed police constable in 1863. He also worked as a prospector, piner and track cutter at different times, and several geographical features in southern Tasmania carry his name. So he was a protector of the pines. Place has gotten busier. Hey guys, we've got Ken here from Tahune Adventures, just out of Geefston. Yeah. Now Ken, can you just tell us a little bit about the park, what you have to offer here, how it came about, and a bit about the history of it?
It came the inception of the airwalk. The thought of building an airwalk in the trees here came about from the fact that the land was, or still is, owned by State Forest, it's forestry, and here comes Danielle to join us as well.
Oh, hey Danielle.
Come over here, Danielle.
Jump in the middle here, Danielle.
I'll scoot you around the back.
Yeah.
You can be the rose between two thorns.
And that was the airwalk itself, which is up here in the trees. You can see part of it. Was built in it'll be 22 years ago. 22 years in June or July of this year, 2023. And it really came about because this was a very popular camping and fishing area generally for the locals in particular.
Mainly trout?
There's quite a lot of trout, small trout, not very big ones, but there is good trout in the Huon River here. A number of forestry, local forestry people and from head office in forestry decided they would build, I think at that time was Tasmania's first elevated tree walk, airwalk. It attracted tremendous numbers of people in the first couple of years, and particularly locals, Tasmanians, because it was unique, and then more and more interstate people. And at its height, in the very early days, I think they had about 150,000 people a year. And of course, we have since had, over the last almost 4 years now, we first of all had a major fire in this area and over the central and southern part of Tasmania in January 2019, which closed us here for a year, or 13 months actually, for rehabilitation work and everything else. And then we were open for 3 weeks before COVID happened. And so we, up until now, Danielle and I have been sort of beavering away for nearly 4 years, sort of trying to restore business and business in Tasmania generally, or in tourism generally throughout the country. Obviously has been very difficult over the last couple of years. But we're now definitely in the beginning of 2023 seeing some really great green shoots. I mean, the numbers are coming back, and it's really pleasing to see domestic tourists, particularly coming into Tasmania over this high season, and more than a smattering of internationals now I've noticed over the last couple of months, which is nice to see. Still a long way from the numbers we were doing in 2018, 2019. But we hope to get back to those numbers of getting close to 100,000 people by, I'm hoping, in 24-25 financial year. And which will be great for the Huon Valley as well, because we are the single biggest destination in the Huon Valley for tourists. And if we get people coming into here, it means they're coming to the Huon in general, and they're spending money and staying and just visiting for the day and doing other things.
How big is the actual park?
The area here, first of all, we have 3 main walks. We have the Air Walk, which is an elevated tree walk, which is about 650 metres in length. And then we have what we call the Swinging Bridges Walk, which is a further 3 kilometres, roughly, and includes 2 fabulous suspension bridges, one over the Huon River and one over the Picton River. And then we have the Huon Pine Walk, which is a lovely short walk, about 1 kilometre, and it highlights Huon Huon pine and how it was growing and what it is, what it has been, particularly in Tasmania and in southern Tasmania for boat building purposes since the early 1800s, and what an unusual timber it is. The area of land here we've got is in the old language. It's around about 50 or 60 acres, and we are a comfortable 1.5 hours drive from Hobart to here.
Now, originally it belonged to the forestry or to the government.
Essentially, it still does belong. The land and the infrastructure is Tasmanian owned, and I have a long-term lease over the business, and a lot of the infrastructure and some of the infrastructure I also own here. And yes, it's a wonderful spot to come and see. I mean, it's prior to my being involved here, which seems to be a very long time now, judging by my lack of hair and grey hair. It has been my first accidental foray into experience tourism, as my background has always been in hotels and development of resorts and that sort of area, and this has been something I simply fell into and have absolutely loved.
That's good.
And yourself, Danielle, what's your role in the place? What do you actually do?
So I do a little bit of everything around here. So I help out indoors.
Chief cook
whenever
and
they're
bottle
busy.
washer.
Yeah, I do everything. I do a bit of maintenance as well. We do tours here as well. Do a bit of the cabin and the lodge, like we talked about earlier today. So I'm just, wherever there's a bit of a gap, I jump in and fill that gap.
All right, now speaking about that, the cabin. So you have a cabin out here where people can come and stay.
Yes.
And you showed us earlier on it as a queen size bed and 2 single bunks.
Yes.
And you also have another cabin there, which is a bigger one that houses how many people?
So it sleeps 20 people. It does have a communal living area, communal kitchen and communal bathrooms. But there's ample bathrooms for that amount of people. So at the moment we're only doing small bookings for there just to keep some numbers down and interactions and things throughout there. But it's really good for big sewing groups or maybe kids groups or something like that, or a big family get together. You can all stay in the one area and live and do cooking and all that together. So it's really good for the big groups. And then obviously if you want to have a little bit of a romantic getaway or something, then you can opt for the cabin and you get your own space, your own kitchen, bathroom, and little court area where you can have an open fire and cook your marshmallows and things. And we also allow the family pet to come as well, which is really good. If you want to travel with the dog, you don't want to put it in a kennel or something, you can bring it down, and as long as it doesn't go on the furnishings, then we're quite happy to have them around. And we're open for people to take their dogs on the walks as well, so as long as you keep them on a lead and be respectful of other people having dogs and things on site, then it's a really good opportunity to take your dog for a walk.
That's excellent, because a lot of the, say, grey nomads or the older travelling people, or even some of the younger ones, have the dog with them and they don't want to leave in the caravan or whatever, but if they can bring it out here, that is awesome. But also to stay in the cabin and have your dog in there, that's really good.
Yeah.
Now, you said that it's fairly busy, it books out. Can you go online to book? Do you have to ring to book? How do you book these cabins?
So to book anything at Tahune, you can go online. So you can go through our website and it will direct you in the right direction that you want to go.
Roz will put up the website and all the phone numbers and information.
So it is good to jump on there first and just have a bit of a scout around of what's available. Everything does book out quite quickly, so if you wanted to come down to stay the night, it might not be available. It's the same with, you can buy your tickets as well, or the rafting experience, you can buy tickets online for that as well.
Now, with your with your car park out there, you do have a spot with people that actually have a van or have a bigger thing just to pull up, just to go and have a look through. Obviously they can't sleep there the night or camp there, or can they?
Yeah, they can. So if you pop in with your big caravan and you decide you want to stay here for the night, you can park in the overflow car park area. So that gets you away from everybody else, so it's nice and quiet. We do have a $10 fee, so you fill out a little form so we know who you are, just in case there's an emergency or something, and then you're quite free to camp over there for the night. We do have outdoor toilets, so if you do need to use the bathrooms overnight, you can use those, or obviously a lot of people these days are taking their own kit with them and stuff. But you can stay there for a couple of nights if you like. And there's also a beautiful picnic area on the way heading towards Chiefston as well that you can stay with toilets and things there
Okay,
too.
now on that, the park opens at 10 in the morning. Is that 7 days a week?
Yep, 7 days a
And
week.
closes at 4, but the last walk is 3 o'clock, I think, to book online.
Yes, I think so.
But you leave the park open as such for people to walk around if they're camping in these cabins, or if they're staying here in their vehicles, they can still walk around.
And that's one of the beauties of staying down here, because yes, you've got the opportunity to have a look at it in a totally different perspective at night. And sometimes you'll see devils and possibly wombats and echidnas,
Stars are amazing.
and the stars are just, there's no light pollution. It's just fabulous. Yeah.
Yep, we get a lot of photographers down here that come down to try and catch a bit of bird life, or people that are looking for, obviously their star shots and things like that. And obviously a lot of the wildlife are nocturnal, so if you're kind of coming around once everybody's gone, it's quiet and right down, you'll get your devils and your wombats and your quails and things coming up. So,
Right, something else that I noticed in the park, which we actually are going to do,
yes.
is the hang glider that you've got there. That's obviously something different to walking around the park. That's an extra fee. I think it was $20 or $25 or whatever it was, which is still reasonably cheap. And what is the go with that? Is there a certain age to go on that?
There is. So we don't really go by age, we go by weight. Kids have to be over 25 kilos and adults have to be under 120. That's just for our safety, so our harnesses are only rated for that much. The glider is obviously rated for much, much more because it's a nice big glider there. But it's a really good experience and it's really good for everybody. So we've had some really heartfelt moments down there where we've had people in wheelchairs that are no longer able to walk, and we get them in that glider and then they get to fly. So a lot of people actually see it and go, right, I really want to do that. And they come down here and we make sure that we get them on, and they get that done quite safely.
That brings me to something else quickly. I noticed at the end of the air walk there was a disability sign. So can people actually drive, or do you take people up there and then they can hop in their wheelchair and go on that air walk? Is that
Both?
Yep, both.
Yeah. Well, see,
Yep.
that's really good because people wouldn't know that. They probably think, oh, it's an air walk, I can't get up there or whatever, but that's just letting people know whether you're disabled or not.
The visitor centre here and the air walk itself, and as well as the Huon Pine Walk over here, are all fully accessible. And yes, we have a service which we run throughout the site, offering people who may perhaps don't want to do all the walk to actually drive them around. Perhaps the top of the walk, they don't want to do the steps. Alternatively, yes, we have a number of disabled car spots up there where they can take their own car and then access the walk and the Huon Pine Walk in particular.
So you're very accommodating.
Yeah, we try and do the best for everybody.
Now, something Ken was saying before too is for generally for all first responders, fireys, police, nurses and stuff like that, veterans, they do a discount for you guys as well. So it's really worth coming down and having a look. And with the discount, that then allows you to go and buy food. They've got lovely food behind there, and also little gifts and items of stuff that you can buy and put money back into the community and in the township, I suppose. So it's really worth coming down. One last thing, there's a building over here behind us. Is that a research centre? I haven't actually gone in there yet, but I've seen something out there. Is it got the first? There's like a big antenna or something to do with fire research or something like that. Can you just talk a little bit about that?
Yep, go ahead, Ken.
We fondly call this the Bluestone Building, and it was the original shelter when people used to come to the area just to camp or fish for the weekend. That has been rebuilt and restored. And we use it for a number of things. One is we use it for group barbecues, things like that, for group functions. It's also got a small interpretive centre in it. And yes, you mentioned a large antenna. By the end of this month, hopefully January, we will be in a position. Oh, actually no, maybe a bit later. We'll be in a position to connect what we call WARA, which is the WARA Research Station, which is an absolutely fascinating, which undertakes fascinating work around air quality, forest, how the forests are growing, animals, birds, and how the atmosphere is affected. And we will be able to hopefully look at all of that information directly here. It is out in the forest in the World Heritage Area. And we work with the University of Tasmania on that, and we'll be expanding the work that we do there through them. We also, and unusually, we are about to connect by the end of January. We'll have connected Wi-Fi right throughout the entire airwalk as well. So people will be able to come and conduct their social media photographs right out there on the cantilever, there and then.
So you have Wi-Fi here
We do.
at the hut, or where we are now?
Yes, we do.
And it's free Wi-Fi?
It is free Wi-Fi.
There
It'll
you
be
go.
right
So
throughout the site.
for all you young ones that can't get away with
Yeah.
your phones and all that,
Yes.
you have comms back to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
I noticed when I
Exactly.
was out walking around that there was no reception
Yeah.
sort of thing out there. But yeah, no, thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it. You've got a lovely place here, and Danny, you've been a laugh.
Yeah, always am. You should try one of my tours.
Now,
Exactly.
yeah, okay, so you do personalised tours, do you?
We do tours. We usually do, sometimes we offer a public tour when we're not busy. We obviously offer tours and things for children, universities and stuff like that. Big coach groups and things like that. So yeah, we try and give tours whenever we can, just so we can try and educate people about the bushland that they come and see, and they know what the trees are that they're looking at and the animals that are around and stuff. So.
And the only other thing we haven't touched on was the rafting. You also do whitewater rafting here, or kayaking, I think I've seen on the front
Yes,
out there.
they're typical inflatable rafts. Now we particularly sell it as a gentle rafting experience,
Yep.
rather than as a whitewater rafting experience. Certain times of the year, yes, we do run. Particularly in winter and spring periods, we do run some whitewater rafting. But this time of the year, rafting is for anybody from 4-year-old to your 85-year-old grandmother, and it's a family thing, and it's very popular. We had something like 20-odd people out yesterday, the day before, of all age groups, and it's a half-day adventure on the Picton and Huon rivers, and it is great fun, and it's really extremely scenic.
And obviously you have a guide that goes with them. The people aren't on their own, so they don't
Correct.
have to be scared. They've got someone that knows the rivers and
Yes.
knows what's going on. And
Yeah, there are
can
two
help them
qualified
out.
guides, and up to about 15, 16 people. There are two qualified guides, and they will interpret what you see on the river and talk about the area in general, and make sure everybody's kept safe as well. And we deliberately use one and two-person rafts, because the river is not flowing that fast, and it gives people a really great freedom. Some people want to have their own raft. Some people want to be with two people in a raft. We very seldom have any more than two people in a raft, and that allows people a lot of fun. Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks for your time, Ken. Really appreciate it.
And thank you for coming down. We really appreciate you being here.
No worries. Yeah, guys, so obviously if you're in the south of Tasmania, as Ken was saying, I think we're only about an hour and a half south of
most.
Hobart, and maybe 4 or 5 hours from Lonnie.
Oh, from Launceston, 2.5, 3.5, 4 hours from Launceston
Okay,
at the most.
4 hours. So yeah, come on down, check the wilderness out, have a walk around the park. Obviously, if you like your walks and all that, it's very easy going. It wasn't too hard at all. But yeah, no, very enjoyable. So come on down and have a look. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's that time again, joke time with Dave. Well, actually, it's not really a joke. Bit of sad news today. My obese parrot died. However, it's a weight off my shoulders. Catches.